Hey, if you feel a little murky, a little dark, who doesn't these days, right? If you feel the heaviness of the world or the heaviness of your life, if you feel like you need to shift your energy, to change and move your perspective around, to go through a process of transformation that is going to redistribute your energy in such a way that will support you, your life, the people around you, and maybe something greater slowly, a little bit more of the way that the world is. You know, first of all, it's not your responsibility. Can I just remind you of that? And second of all, it is, because it's all of our responsibility. So here we are entering the cauldron of the goddess Cerridwen. Cerridwen is a Celtic goddess, and she enters the room when we feel dark and murky and heavy and like the world is sitting on our shoulders. She enters the room as the keeper of the cauldron of transformation and regeneration and inspiration. And this is the first video in a series of videos where we're going to explore little bits and pieces of her and bring these teachings of transformative fire and rebirth within the intensity of life and the invocation of the deep, powerful spark of inspiration. This is the first video in this series with Cerridwen, and I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm Hagar. Welcome to Mama Mandala. This is where magic is somatic. So we're going to bring a little bit of this into our bodies so that we can carry it more in a more embodied somatic way into our lives. So why do we want to transform? Here's the thing, life is going to change, it's going to move, it's going to do its thing, right? Things will change all around us and inside of us, whether we do anything about it or not. Transformation is an invitation into an empowering process of co-participating in the energies of life that are around us, that are working through the world that we are a part of, and weaving our own personal ways of being and our vision for how we want things to shift, with weaving it and working with what's happening all around us. So it's a collaboration with the energies of the world, with what's available for us. In this story, the most famous, the most known story of Cerridwen, she wants to transform and help her son, who is the embodiment of murk, the embodiment of darkness, this foul and kind of horrible character. She wants to help him transform. She is the mother of both darkness and light because she has this beautiful, bright, shining daughter. And it's this story, in a way, gives us that flavor that there's stories from other traditions tell, like the Greeks that tell us about Apollo, who is battling his dark brother deep in the subterranean world, Python, the great serpent, or Set and Osiris in Egypt, where we have the barren Set that makes the land dry and lifeless. And we have Osiris, who is the river Nile, that which replenishes the land. And so with Cerridwen, we enter this similar archetypal mood where we have siblings that each represents the dark and that represent together the dark and the light of the year. And this, I happen to release this in toward the end of the year. This series will take us into the new year, but it doesn't matter when you watch it, because in a way, this is why it's archetypally, we are all always in the process of grappling with parts of ourselves that are more lit up and that we want to bring out into the world and that we want to share with the world, and parts of us that feel like we want to hide. This is why it's called the shadow. it's hidden from plain sight. We are always in the process of working with forces that we think of as like, let's flatten it, right? Good. And forces that we feel are bad. Things that society may have told us that were bad, that the overculture has suppressed in us. Things that we've heard in our families, things that we've heard from others, things that the ideas that we've developed in our heads about what's good and what's bad. And Cerridwen wants to help her son transform. I'm not going to tell the entire story. I'll leave a link for you for an essay that tells a little bit more about the story. There's a series of essays about this as well that are going to explore the myth in greater detail. But one of the beautiful things that happened to Cerridwen is that she brews. Where did that accent come from? She brews a potion for a year and a day, which is a time that is considered magical in Druid myth and magic traditions. And she brews it with the help of two people, and they have to stir it. She's the one that creates the spell. But the person who ends up with the spark of Awen, the spark of inspiration that she brews in that brew, intending to give it to her son, is someone else. Actually, the person who ends up drinking it is one of the people that stirs it. It accidentally, the brew, the spark of Awen, the 3 drops of this great potent, powerful spark of inspiration, hops out of the cauldron and lands on his thumb, and he puts it in his mouth to cool it down, not thinking what he's doing. And then this great wisdom and brightness saturates his being. And the rest of the story is really cool. So make sure to read the essay. I will leave a link for you. But the transformation she seeks is it's not to kill the darkness, right? Like some of the other stories from different cultures tell us about destroying the darkness and dispelling it in the way of dissolution. But what Cerridwen does is that she wants to help change the darkness, the dullness, the almost like rottenness in her son, not by killing him, but by helping him and giving him this great potion. But who is getting the potion? Somebody else. Because that happens in life too, right? We want to transform something, and something else changes instead. Life is not linear, just like mythology isn't. This is why mythology is so powerful, because the way that it speaks to us is under the surface, in the unconscious, in places in us that are not linear. And we want transformation, even though what we're going to get in the cauldron of transformation and regeneration is going to be different than what we think we will. So when we throw something at the end of the year, at a time in our lives where we're maybe it's a breakup, maybe it's a move, whatever it is that you are actively engaging in transforming, what you put in the cauldron to dissolve so that something new can re-emerge is sometimes, often, going to give you different results than the vision that you have. And part of the process of transformation is what that does to us. How we make of ourselves this great vessel that can hold the surprising alchemy, that can generate it, that can work on it, but also be with this openness to receive the ingredients that we didn't even know we needed, to taste the flavors that we didn't even know we were cooking, to wear the cloaks we didn't even know we were weaving. This is what transformation is. It's not just a vision that we have of what we want it to be. It has to start with that. Intentions are really important. We have to have them. But big part of this of the power of transformation is in our receptivity to the surprises that we are going to receive from it. So we dissolve things so that something new can emerge, and we have a vision of what that new thing is. End of the year is a great time to journal about it, think about it, process it. But then we become a fertile soil that has gone through this process of receiving all these different parts that are decaying, that are dissolving into us, through us, in the way that we stir the brew of our lives. And then new things will grow, things we didn't even know that we had inside of us, seeds we didn't know we had inside of us. What's so amazing is that this person that ends up swallowing it, his name is Guyon Bach, and he ends up becoming, through this story, the great bard of Wales tradition, the great bard Taliesin, who then is commingled with the character of Merlin from Arthurian legends. Isn't that so, so cool? So not everything that we want to change is going to be something we want to get rid of, right? Like Cerridwen doesn't want to get rid of her son. Sometimes the things that we want to change require a recooking, a rebrewing, right? So what habits do you want to release so that new habits can form? What are some of the expired parts of your identity that you want right now to work on, to work with, to work through, to rewire, to restructure? What are some expired stories that you have told yourself, that society has told you, that you have told, that you have been told and have told yourself over and over again, that you want to shift the interpretation, the way that you tell the story, or the story in its whole? What are some of the things that right now in your life you want to place and stir in the cauldron of transformation? Renewal in the cauldron of transformation through the process of decay and dissolution and digestion and cooking. All of that is in that story. So I will tell it maybe in a different video in this series, in maybe in bits and pieces. We'll do it like that. But the brewing weaves us back into belonging. The idea is to weave ourselves back into belonging. And what are we placing in the fire that transmutes the form so that we can repurpose it and bring it back into our lives? Place your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly. And if you're seated, stand up for a moment. Place your feet as wide as your outer hips and feel the ground beneath you. Exhale slowly and inhale deeply. Another slow exhalation and a deep inhalation. If you haven't yet, bring a tone to the back of the throat and exhale from this tighter passage, but out through the nose. And through this tighter passage, inhale deeply and expand your belly and your chest into your hands. Making your belly big like a balloon. And then exhale through your nose, through the tone in the back of the throat. Relax your belly. Let it soften back. Make your belly really big with your inhale. And let it relax with an exhale. One more round. Inhale deeply, big belly. Exhale slowly, relax your belly. And then release your arms. Keep breathing through the tone in the back of the throat. Inhale your arms up. And exhale, circle the arms around you. Bring them all the way back down. And again, like you're drawing a circle around the fire, like you are building the cauldron around your body. Exhale down. Inhale up. Building, creating, structuring a great vessel for the powerful transformation. Like a chrysalis, so that the caterpillar can break down and become this soup. Arms up again, inhale. Holding on these imaginal cells so that it can reemerge as a butterfly. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, circle the arms, bend your knees and fold forward. So your knees are bent, your belly is on your thighs, fingertips to the floor. And if the floor is too far and your lower back is really tight and your hamstrings are really tight, put your hands on something else. You can put your hands on a couch or on a chair or on a wall. You don't have to touch the floor. Floor touching is for when your body feels really open and ready. Inhale and look forward, halfway up. Exhale, slowly fold back in. And then rise up, knees bent, circle the arms, reach all the way up. And exhale, arms out to the sides, bend your knees, reach all the way to the floor or a prop, a chair, a block, a wall. Inhale, look forward, halfway up. Exhale, fold back in. Up again, inhale, reach your arms. And exhale, back down. Bend the knees, circle the arms, fingertips to the floor. Inhale and look forward. And you're moving your body to move with your life. So you're not stagnant, you're not tight. You're giving, exhale, fall back in. Your body, your life, the message that your body is moving with it. Inhale, circle the arms up, but you're continuing to build, to structure. Exhale, the knees bend, fingertips come back down to the floor, hips back, chest forward. You're continuing to build and to structure a strong cauldron. Inhale, look forward so the transformation can happen inside of you. Exhale, fold back in a way that you're obviously not in control, but you are participating in the decisions. Inhale, come all the way up of what is dissolving and what you are sparking. One more to come back down to the floor, knees bent, hips back, chest forward. So you're empowering yourself with your body. Inhale, halfway up, chest forward. You're empowering yourself with your body's movement to work and transform in a world where you have some agency but not control. Come all the way up. Inhale, because even the things that you want to transform, exhale, now bring your hands to your heart, are going to form themselves, happen in a different way than what you envision. We're going to reach the arms up and bring the thumb to the index, the ring finger knuckle that is closer toward the root of your, to the highest knuckle, like that. Okay, so that's Agni Mudra. That's the mudra, the hand gesture, the vessel of fire. And we're going to reach the arms up and we're going to breathe breath of fire to ignite the fire of transformation under the cauldron of regeneration and inspiration. Exhale slowly through your nose and pull your belly in. Inhale deeply, expand your belly. If you need to, you can put a hand, fingertips maybe on the belly. And the focus now is on exhalation. It's still through the nose and through a tone in the back of the throat. And the breath is pushed out, expelled out by the belly pulling in. So the belly pulls in, the air pushes out. You can go a little faster than what I'm doing or a little slower if you need to. The breath moves through the nose and through the tone in the back of the throat. Eyes closed or slightly open if that feels better for you. You're not focusing on inhalation, you're focusing on exhalation. Pulling the belly in, pushing the air out. And then exhale slowly all the way out. Keep the air out for a moment. Keep your arms up. And then inhale deeply. And exhale, release your arms. Circle them all the way to release by your sides. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Take a breath. Stretch your arms back behind you. If your shoulders are very tight, you can hold on to a strap or a shirt even. So if you can't clasp your hands behind your back in a way that feels like it's opening, if that feels actually limiting and closing, go ahead and use a scarf or a shirt or a strap. Arms behind you and separate your feet wide apart from each other. Deep breath in. And with an exhalation, bend your knees, reach your chest forward and your hips back and stretch your arms over your head. Slow breath here. Make your legs strong. Energetically pull your heels back. So again, you're working on the strength of the vessel. And as your heels pull back energetically without actually moving, press the weight on the balls of your feet and stretch the arms a little further. With a slow inhalation, bring your fingertips to the floor and look forward halfway up. And with a slow exhalation, fold back in. Now bend your knees deeply. Turn your toes out. This feels a little bit like a little bit like a spider when I do this. And then put your hands on your knees to lift your torso up and move your hips a little bit side to side. Take one shoulder forward and in. Slow breath. And then the other. Slow, deep breathing. And then keep your knees bent if you can. Stretch your arms up. At any point, if you need to stretch your legs straight or relax your arms a little bit, you can, absolutely. See if you can keep it. We're going to bring the thumb, bend the ring finger in, the thumb to the highest knuckle that's closest to the knuckle that's the closest one to the root of your thumb, to the root of your hand, sorry. Take a deep breath in, expand your belly. And begin breath of fire again, Kapalabati. Belly pulls in, air pushes out. All through the tone in the back of the throat, and the breath moves through the nose. But you hear how the breath is not nasally, it's through the back of the chest, back of the throat. And activating the belly, activating the digestive system. This is part of Cauldron work. This is part of Cerridwen's work. This is part of this archetypal, transformative experience and intentionality, deep activation of the digestive area in your body, pulling the belly in to push the air out, to activate this fire center in your being so that this great transformation and transmutation can occur. What are you dissolving in the cauldron? What are you rebrewing to reintegrate into belonging? And exhale slowly all the way out through the nose. Keep the air out for just a moment. The knees bent, the arms up. And then inhale, stretch your legs straight. Turn your toes forward. Exhale, relax your arms. Release the mudra. Interlace your fingers behind your back with the opposite index finger on top than the one you had before. Stretch your arms back. Deep breath. And exhale, legs strong. You can bend your knees on the way down. Stretch the arms over the head. Heavy in the balls of the feet. Energetically pull your heels back. Deep breaths. Slow, deep breathing. And when I'm here, I like to move my shoulders around a little bit. So I lift them up and I pull them down and I move my shoulder blades. And that gives me a deeper opening. But in an active way, I'm participating in the way that I'm shifting and changing things in the body right now. With an inhalation, fingertips to the floor, look forward. And with an exhalation, bring your legs towards each other and bring your knees to the floor. Sit back on your heels if this is okay for you. If not, you can sit however feels okay for you. You can even sit up on a chair or on a couch. Bring again your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your belly and let your eyes be soft and breathe deeply in and slowly out. Deep breath. Make your belly big and expansive. And relax it with an exhalation. You're helping your nervous system regulate when you do that. Deep breath, big, big belly. Slow exhalation, belly relax. One more round, deep breath. And then let the belly soften. Bring yourself into a seated position, hips on the ground or on a chair, and rest your hands for a moment on your knees, on your thighs. Slow breath with no effort now. Just be with yourself and see what is emerging, what's stirring in your cauldron. Noticing what's coming through. In this cauldron of transformation, there's a bit of prophetic quality, not as in what is going to happen, not as in predicting the future, but as in the sensitivity and the receptivity and the ability to listen to what is really needed. So take a moment and ask yourself the wise part of yourself that is generated in this cauldron, what you need. And listen for what comes through. It may not come through in words. It may come through in other ways, images, colors, strange threads of memories or ideas. What do you need? And softly bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra, this gesture, this vessel of the heart's deepest offering. And so we turn our own transformation and also what you heard the wisest part of you say that you need most right now into an offering, into something that we place on the altar of our lives, that we share with the world around us, that we bring to ourselves and to something more, something greater than ourselves. And the brew that Cerridwen is brewing in her cauldron it's the potion of Awen, of the great power of creativity and inspiration. It's the potion of the muse. It's the power to have the wisdom and the articulation and the ability to bring the artistry of who we are into the world in a way that serves something more than us. And so let's chant together Awen one time. Deep breath in. Thank you so much for joining me for this. If you like it, make sure to watch the next one in this series. There's going to be an evolution of what we can do with this power of Cerridwen. If you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my Substack. I will leave a link for you in the description of the video. Muse Medicine drops every Monday with Mythic, magic, and archetypal alchemy. It's a powerful way to explore yourself and the world around you in this great, crazy time of upheaval in a way that is bringing inspiration into our lives and into how we interact with it. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to hang out again in the next one. Namaste.